Hello, welcome to INFJ Thoughts. This is your INFJ in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the topic of today's video discussion is unconscious INFJness. I'll come up with a better title, but I guess what I wanted to talk about is how so much of what we seem to do is mostly unconscious, and where consciousness, of course, would be a gigantic topic, and I've thought a lot about it, but I'm not saying I'm especially qualified to define consciousness versus unconsciousness, but I guess that would be probably a good place to start. So our conscious thoughts are where we're inhabiting all the time. We think that everything is conscious, but there are giant swaths of our life and the things we do that are either unconscious or motivated by unconscious actions and activities. So what do I mean? Well, like when I can watch one of these videos I put together and I see, well, I didn't know I did that. I didn't know I threw things, for example. I know I had a tendency to pick things up and mess with them. I know I had a tendency to click things, but I think that the introverted into, and I'm, by the way, I'm no expert on the Myers-Briggs, but I am an expert on being an INFJ since I've been one for 54 years, and I am a student of the self. I'm a student of being a self-aware, conscious type individual. You know, we try anyway. It's amazing how the things that trip us up, the things that bite us on the bum, are unconscious. And also, I think very much in the case of the INFJ, many of our best attributes are also unconscious. And we just use this without even realize we're using it. And I think to some people it seems like a magic power. And I'm an artist, a painter, and also I don't know if I call myself a musician. I prefer a musical artist, even though I'm basically doing like pop music of a type. Um, Very much more so in the music. So many of the things I do are unconsciously motivated. I just get an idea that bubbles up from the depths and then I follow through in it. And because I follow through in it, usually things work out pretty well. And I've been doing that for 13 years, so no longer, sorry. 2003, and this is, so it's 15 years now. And without any real musical training, just an ear and a desire to make something beautiful. And all of it comes from the unconscious. All of it comes from the nether realms, and I rely on that totally to do what I do. And for that reason, um, you know, the things I do have a certain energy and quality to them that's sort of unique and special, you know. And I think this is true of a lot of the things that INFJs do. I think we are specialists in the realm of the unconscious and also the shadow and the darker parts of the mind. And let's talk about the painting. So I mean, I can speak a bit more on painting because with painting I actually had some training as an artist, although most of it was self-training. But I had a career as a commercial artist for a long time, and I understand how to put art together, and my conscious rational mind knows how to do it. But even there I rely on unconscious stimuli and unconscious motivations for most of what I do, and I've learned just to see something, gonna go with that, gonna go with that, and then I'm gonna follow through on that. And then that's why when I teach on my painting videos, I always tell people, just start. Don't sit there and try and overthink everything. Just jump in and start, so you can get the unconscious on your side. And there's so much power there. There's so much depth, and power is really the word. It's like an ocean, you know. And I don't think, because of the way that we're wired as INFJs, I don't believe that we're actually really even aware of the unconscious. I think we're aware of our conscious minds, and we just get these promptings. And you could shut them out. I think even an INFJ can shut them out, although, you know, our number one function is intuition. So I don't know how happy you'll be if you're trying to shut all that down, but um, I don't. Yeah, it's just. Well, it's great. I mean, it's great to have these abilities, and also, same thing comes like I'm watching MasterChef with my wife, and I go, this one's one, that one's one. Why? Oh well, I could unfurl it for you, but I can tell you it's just all this various bits of information and data collected in my unconscious and just burbled up to the conscious mind. Here's your answer, and that's why we can seem psychic, or we can seem like we are have telepathy, or also precognition, like a knowing of the futures, because we're able to put all these things together. And one thing I will say, so we're like pretty much done here, but I want to talk about, I had a job as a manager in my 20s and 30s, and it was managing a pretty decent sized operation. It was manufacturing. Management for INFJs would be a topic for another video. I'm sure I'll get there. Anyway, this was a huge job. It was really too many jobs. It wasn't just being a manager of the shop. It was buying and selling and dealing with customers and schedules, and also helping out to do things, And what I could tell you is that during this job, I ended up honing my intuition skills so well that I actually became aware of intuition, even though I had no idea what an INFJ was or anything. I would be sitting there working at my desk, and I get this prompting like, go in the back right now. And sure enough, there'd be a guy ready to cut 1,000 sheets of map board a half inch too small, and I would have had to, I would have delayed the job by weeks, because I would have had to try and get together that amount of board again for an order, and not to mention losing all the money on the job. But so I really started giving the intuition credits, and it's a big topic. I'll probably talk some more about it, but that's it for today. I want to make sure and get your video, because I know you're hanging on your seats going, where's my next INFJ thought? Okay, so we need something for the screenshot. How about this? Is that gonna work? Okay, sorry. I'll be back real soon with another video. Meanwhile, please take good care and stay out of trouble.